Hi, I'm Joe.
And I'm Digna.
Welcome to Relationships.
We're a couple having a few.
You can find us on social media. We're on Facebook, and it's facebook.com/a-couple-having-a-few. On Instagram, we are instagram.com/getting-to-know-brews. And you can find us on YouTube. Our channel name is Getting to Know Brews. If you want to reach out to us via email, you can email us at drinkndrive@icloud.com. That's drinkndrive@icloud.com. This is our first episode back after a hiatus.
Hiatus.
I think that's what we should start doing, is
Go on hiatus?
have hiatuses.
Hiati.
Hiati.
Hiatus.
Hiati. Isn't that how like Wyclef said
Yes.
Haiti, and
Yes.
which I'm assuming is the correct way. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think Wyclef made it up. Gosh, that guy just knows how to create something out of anything.
So clever.
And
all.
And we are currently in August. I think September 1st-ish is when we're going to start releasing episodes. But
Fair-ish.
I think it's a little bit early, but I like it.
It's so early.
But we're talking about beer.
Shocking.
And other pumpkin-y things. Like,
not an other pumpkin-y thing.
well, because like you saw pumpkin creamer the other day.
Oh, it's entirely, yes.
Yeah.
Listen, it's too early for pumpkin stuff in August. Here's why. I love all of them. I love that they last from August till November. However, August is still my birthday and Dez's birthday, and it's still summer, like big time summer in my head. And I resent a little bit that people are already like, oh, it's been so hot. I'm so excited for fall. And I'm like, bro, it's still my birthday and I'm a summer birthday. So I'm not a fall birthday. I shouldn't be eating pumpkin donuts for my birthday.
Well, let's think about this too.
Pineapple donuts.
This is something that is kind of a, funny thing with all these fall flavors. I'm gonna have a pumpkin this. I'm gonna have a, cinnamon and all these other fall flavors. Well, guess what? That pumpkin that you're eating, that pumpkin pie that came out, wasn't from a pumpkin that was grown this year. It's an old pumpkin. Like
you're eating old pumpkins.
When they're making these pumpkin beers and these pumpkin spice things, if there's any real pumpkin in it whatsoever, mind you, all that stuff is from the previous year, because pumpkins grow and they actually bloom and make fruit during the fall. So there's no way you can, like, I don't know, I guess it's like pre-gaming for the fall.
Unless they've somehow genetically modified somewhere the ability to grow pumpkins in like the spring instead of the fall, even though they probably have to do it in the fall to process
south of the equator.
Yeah.
I mean, so they could be like, they could be southern hemisphere pumpkins.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Still, August is a bit early, guys.
Yeah,
Stop it.
Agreed.
Stop it.
Now I will say, I went to the store the other days, and when I was at the store, I was looking specifically for yet another one of these fall flavors. I was looking for, Digna and Des just went out of town to Washington State to see some friends.
Hi, Jen and Sam.
At that time, I guess she went to, where did you tell me where you saw the seasonal beer?
Where was I? I think it was in Albertsons. Yeah, that was in Albertsons.
It's your store.
In like not the middle of nowhere to me. It's in the hills somewhere thereabouts around Seattle.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you the town.
And what did you say?
Oh, sorry.
Great.
I thought he was going to introduce the beer whilst I introduced the location. The Sam Adams Oktoberfest, October.
The Ogtoberfest, apparently. Because it's in August, it's the Ogtoberfest.
Oktoberfest.
Yes. So there you go. Oktoberfest here in Ogtober. Maybe that's what we should call it, like Ogtoberfest.
We should just celebrate October in August so we can avoid the crowds.
Yeah. If I had a brewery,
wear lederhosen.
If I had a brewery, I would have one called Ogtoberfest, just because it's so ridiculous that it's coming out this early in the year. But on that note,
you hear that, local breweries?
I went to Publix here, So not Albertsons, because we haven't had one of those in many a year.
So weird.
And when I went to Publix, I was like, ooh, I hope they have that, because that's my favorite seasonal beer.
It's his favorite beer.
It's probably one of my favorite beers,
No,
but
I think
definitely
it is
my
your favorite beer.
I don't know if it is. I can't say. But the thing about it is because it's not available year round, you're like, finally, it's that time of year, all that kind of stuff. I didn't find that, but I did find another seasonal beer.
I said all that to say this.
I said all that to say nothing. Goodbye. Have a good night. We'll see you next season. By the way, I don't know how I'm going to release the episodes, but this is season 3. This is
Saison 3.
If this is the first episode,
Saison.
No, they're not Saison.
It's a kind of beer.
Wrong.
Ugh.
I mean, right about it being a kind of beer, but still.
Anyway.
But I found a 12-pack of it. It's a variety pack of pumpkin beers, and by Elysian. And
Elysian. Fly Elysian.
Elysianaire. Elysianaire.
Elysianaire.
I'm not going to be one of those.
No.
The one that we actually had all of these beers on an earlier episode.
Season 1.
Season 1. No, it was season 1, but it was.
I don't know.
But it was season 1. I don't even know what episode it would have been, but that was with David and Alexis, our friends.
Ew, David.
Ew, David.
Ew, Alexis.
Ew, Alexis.
Ew, Alexis.
And
Alexis.
but we had the Elysian pumpkin pack, and we just went through that thing.
Yeah, we did.
And kind of tasted all of them and talked about how they met and all that stuff. And we're trying to we're going to work on getting some more how I met, this person met that person. Kind of, we're going to get some of those episodes queued up for us real soon. But
if you want to be one of those, how this person met that person,
yeah,
contact us at relationships on Facebook and Instagram.
Or drinkndrive@icloud.com. Don't worry, I have that in.
You can just text me. That's probably easier.
If you know us well enough. Yeah, exactly. But I'm going to try one called Punkachino. It's a coffee pumpkin ale. A pumpkin ale with the attitude of a world-weary barista. Punkachino packs a short shot of Stumptown coffee in your pint with just a shake of cinnamon, nutmeg. It says, contains lactose.
Ooh, farts.
So I'm going to try that, and while I'm trying that, Digna's going to tell you about the one she has.
I am going to have the Night Owl Pumpkin Ale. Our original pumpkin ale brewed with pumpkin, roasted and raw pumpkin seeds, and spiced in conditioning. That's a weird phrase. With nutmeg, clove, cinnamon, ginger, and allspice.
Ooh, this is nice.
There's a nice big owl on it. So I'm also going to zip on the Elysian Night Owl.
If it were a British owl, instead of saying who, it would say whom.
That's still incorrect grammar.
Whom.
That's delicious.
Whom.
Nom, 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 nom. All right. I like last season's pumpkins. Fine. You can have have summer pumpkins.
They should make them out of summer squash, right?
Honestly, it probably would taste the same.
They probably don't even use... Well, I know for a fact the pumpkin pie, like in a can, stuff? The canned stuff, it's a squash. It's not... When you think, ooh, a pumpkin, I'm going to get the biggest one I can find in the pumpkin patch. It's not that. It ain't none of that.
It doesn't matter because all of it tastes like nothing. So really all of it just tastes... You've said this a gazillion times before when discussing pumpkin flavored stuff.
You're eating spice.
You're just... and it's delicious spice.
This one's really good. I can get that coffee flavor in there.
Cinnamon, clove, ginger, and allspice.
Eye of newt.
Nutmeg. Eye of newt.
All right, trade. It was good. I enjoyed mine.
Also yummy. But I don't get all the spices that I get in that one.
Well, I mostly get coffee out of that one. That one has a good coffee flavor. I really enjoy that one.
I'm going to give this back to you. Not that I think it actually has caffeine. However, I don't need this.
You don't need the lactose.
I don't need the lactose, and I don't need the boost of any caffeine at
the boost de
11
caca
o'clock at night.
Oh, by the way, we are recording this episode on a brand new piece of hardware. So for my other podcast, I bought something that I can do up to 6 different microphones. And I found out that thing was kind of overkill for this podcast.
What?
So I started going just straight from the laptop, which was fine and dandy when it's just Digna and I.
Straight out of laptop.
Straight out of laptop.
Sorry.
But straight out of lactose. But the problem with the laptop is then you got to carry around a laptop. So in a small, quiet room like this, where two people or even two couples.
No, we're not doing that here.
No, that's not it. It is not that kind of show. But in a situation like that, I think just a tiny little recording device. So I've got the Zoom, it's like HN1, which made me think of like the bird flu, the H1N1 or something like that. I'm looking through the paperwork right now. It is the H1N.
One.
So it is. It's damn near bird flu.
You bought us a virus.
I got like 3/4 of a virus. H1N. I don't have the other one. So we're good.
H1N.
And blank. What episode was it?
The episodes with Divad and Alexis were season 1, episode 26 and 27, Punkin' and Drivin', because that was a collab between Drinkin' and Drivin' and Relationships. And episode 27 is Gored to Death. Like, a gourd, not to be gored. They're not spelled the same, right?
No.
Okay, just checking.
Gore, like gore, like blood and guts.
There you go. So there are 2 episodes that cover extensively pumpkin-flavored beers.
Yes. And also, to a lesser degree, I guess, David and Alexis's relationship and whatnot.
I mean, yeah, we talked about that a little bit.
I guess. Whatever.
I don't know. All I remember is eating marshmallows by the end of it. David insisting that we eat microwaved marshmallows, which is just a weird thing to, like, crave.
I don't understand that at all. I don't crave them
It's
ever.
so messy. But anyway, this being our first episode of the new season, lots...
Though I have one that I've recorded and I still haven't even... Edited it yet. It's like half edited. And I just kind of... So apparently we're going to get a bonus episode this season. I mean, I don't even know how many episodes were in the first season. I think it ended up being...
It was a lot. It was like 30.
It was definitely at least those 27. So yeah, I think it was 30 or 31. So they're not going to be 30 or 31 a season because I like having the summer off.
31.
I should probably record more material throughout the summer because here we are. I was looking
31 and season 2 is only 12.
I mean, 12's still nice.
I'm just saying, it was only 12.
So, well, maybe
we were also really busy.
With
so there's that.
People dying and whatnot. So
school,
and
death in the family,
and people dying. Yeah.
Yes.
All of those things.
Moving, selling a car, getting a car accident.
Yeah. So
selling a house.
And we're going to talk about some of those things that have happened since the end of season 2.
Weddings, anniversaries, birthdays.
All of that.
Yes.
Yeah, so Digna actually mentioned one thing. So after season 2 happened, we mentioned my grandfather passed away. So that was, kind of what started all of this and how he became kind of busy and weren't able to record as much. But we ended up with 3 cars.
Right. We had 2 cars. And obviously his grandparents had 1 car. So we were just kind of rotating 3 vehicles in the driveway just because there was too much to do to try to sell one or whatever. Actually, we looked into turning our lease back in. We had thought about it. We had talked about it. We had talked to the car company or whatever, and that was just shenanigans, and we were going to lose a bunch of money.
They want to give you pennies on the dollar.
We were going to lose a bunch of money to get rid of our lease. So we decided to just keep the lease and keep the car that we owned at the moment and keep the grandparents' car because that's the easiest thing for his grandmother to maneuver, into when she needs to go somewhere.
Well, we figured it's the car she's familiar with.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a 2007 and it's amazing shape for its age and everything. It's a 2007. It's great. But that's the car she's been in and out of at least since 07.
Since 07, yeah.
And, so she doesn't hear as well, doesn't see as well, but, does a lot more by feel nowadays, I guess. And so you want
the less you change, the better.
Exactly. So saying that, we decided we were going to sell a Nissan that we had to Digna's mom.
Which you met. Hi, Nancy and Daryl.
Yeah, she's been on a couple episodes.
Oh.
Yeah, she's a veteran. She's a reoccurring cast member. We sold that car, and the next day, literally the
next damn day,
we're like, here, Mom, this is now going to be your car. You've got all the keys. This is your car. We are
We are a 2-car household.
We are now a 2-car household because there's only 2 of us
Look
that
at
drive.
us streamlining and being efficient.
Exactly. And the next day...
Waka boom. And that means Des and I were actually headed back to the townhouse because we are in the process of selling that. And we were headed there to do whatever and got into a massive car accident. We were turning left at a light, and the person coming perpendicular to us didn't realize that she was not supposed to be coming at all. She was supposed to be stopping.
Apparently she didn't know where she was at all.
She didn't realize it because she was impaired in some way.
At 10 o'clock in the morning.
But she slammed right into us, destroyed the car. Thank goodness it was in the perfect spot, I guess, where, we weren't injured, relatively speaking. Des was on the other side of the vehicle. It hit in front of me, so it, there was no direct impact to my body.
Even though it was the driver's side, it hit the front tire, the wheel right there, which the only thing behind the wheel is the engine and the drivetrain. So it was a bunch of heavy metal, stuff. The heaviest part of the entire vehicle, the most oomph part of the whole vehicle.
So that car was demolished. It was, there was no saving that car at all.
Now, really quick, you said you were going straight and you were making a left turn.
Right, I was, yeah.
So your car wouldn't have been facing just north and south. You would have been facing south, kind of east?
I was facing southeast, yes.
And then when you got hit, what position was the vehicle facing afterward?
Facing directly west, maybe west-northwest, we'll say. So the opposite direction.
That's how hard it got hit.
And she was going so fast that when she smacked into me, turned my car, she didn't stop next to me. She kept going a good 50 to 100 feet down the road, before she even had the wherewithal to either brake or her car gave out. I don't know what happened, but...
there was definitely a lot of braking, and it was in your car, her car, and the other car that was involved in the accident. Yeah.
I honestly don't... I couldn't even tell you if I hit the brakes or not. My foot was on the gas actively, so I don't think I slammed on brakes at any point. I think I just got hit, and then my car stopped working. And I couldn't even, put it into park, which I don't know why that was the first thing I thought I needed to do before getting out of the car.
Well, now I do have to give props to Mazda, because obviously my family's alive, so that's a very, very good thing.
Testament to the
So, you know what?
Vehicle.
I wasn't there, but... Didn't you say the car itself was hey, you've been in an accident, I'm calling 911 or something like that?
Yeah, it's kind of the same feature that if you wear an Apple Watch, if you fall, it detects that you have fallen. So it will give you an alert hey, we've detected you've fallen. Can you please verify? So it's similar. So I guess a specific impact gets this feature to start. I was actively on a phone call with my friend. Hi, Charlene. It interrupted the phone call, and I know it interrupted the phone call. It didn't end the phone call because Charlene later told me that she heard me talking to my car. So she was still there, but I couldn't hear her. So my car interrupted my phone call and, tried to verify whether or not I had been in an accident. And because, I heard it, but I didn't really hear it, so I didn't respond. And I do vaguely remember it saying something contacting emergency services. So I must have had a certain amount of time to be no, dude, I'm cool. I just bumped into a wall. And because I didn't respond in time, it called 911 for me. So all of a sudden my phone call then was interrupted, obviously, and it hung up on Charlene. But, I just automatically, I had 911 on the phone in the car, which thankfully that system was still working. So I was by that point, I had the wherewithal to find my phone, to transfer the call to my phone so that I could get out of the car with Des, or get out of the car, walk around the car, and try to get him out so he didn't get out and walk into traffic because it was in the middle of a giant intersection. So meanwhile, having to crawl underneath the airbags to get out of the car and jam my door open because it was kind of smashed in a little bit. But yeah, there was a lot going on. But yeah, the technology of that feature was super helpful. Not that I don't think somebody would have called 911 because there were a lot of people around. It was nice to had that happen in the middle of the night with nobody around. That would have been really amazing to have 911 just called for me.
Another thing about the car, it obviously did its job, and, the airbags deployed and all that kind of stuff. And my family's, they're both still here, which is a very very big deal. You know, I was here at the house with my grandmother, and we're kind of at the point where she can't be left alone. So we're kind of like, I can't go anywhere. But we did go in a very short period of time from a 3-car home to a 2-car home down to a 1-car home.
Like within 48 hours.
It was
If
like
that.
So now we are a 1-car home. So the 1 car that we have is the 2007 car that my grandparents have had. So
That was one really big thing that just has happened.
if there was a silver lining, the way when you sell your car back to a dealership, they do this whatever stupid math they do that says your car is worth this much, we'll give you this much. That doesn't apply apparently when insurances are involved, so they give you a more reasonable number. So we got out what we had in it, which was actually nice.
Very nice. Yeah.
So at some point we'll get a different car and all that stuff. We're not really rushing into any decisions, especially because with that on the plate, and then our house is for sale, our townhouse is for sale, and it's actually under contract. Yeah, fingers crossed, So, we're just not rushing into any big decisions.
We're not rushing into anything, just car accidents.
Well, you weren't the one who was rushing through red lights, so you had the right of way.
I was going a full 15 miles an hour.
I was to say you were making a turn, so you couldn't
From a red light.
You couldn't have been rushing, to make that turn.
I will say I have not been to that intersection since in the same capacity. I've passed it going in the other direction, like the way the lady hit me, going east and west, but I refuse to make that turn again.
Well, it's not funny, but because I don't know the outcome of it, but shortly after, so how long ago was that other
Saturday, this past Saturday, a couple days ago.
So like August 3rd-ish, give or take. I don't have my calendar in front of me. The 6th, okay. No. Okay. August 6th, we'll go with it. I
was flying back that day.
So August 6th, at the wee hours of the morning, somebody through that same intersection where Digna was turning to make the left turn, they didn't realize that you have to turn.
Yeah, at that intersection, you can only go south, east, or west, right? Yeah, there's no going north because there's a wall directly in front of you.
No, you're wrong. South, you can't go south.
You're right. You can, yes. You're facing south, and there's a wall in front of you.
Well, that person apparently was confused the way Digna just was because they went south.
My bad.
And they went directly into a wall at 20-foot tall wall, something like that. Yeah. And this wall, by the way, just happens to be the wall that goes around our community where we're selling our townhouse.
Yes.
So they hit that thing with so much force.
If you're looking for a house to buy.
I mean, if you're looking for a car for parts, that's
I'm not even sure there's any parts.
What I heard, well, the little bracket that holds on the license plate was probably okay. But honestly, this car was what I heard was like a 2022 Kia, so it wasn't like a high dollar car, but it was a brand new. Their car may
have also dialed 911.
Yeah, maybe, but their car definitely was totaled. I mean, I don't know anything about that, but I know what a totaled car looks like in that case. And that car was squished, but
the entire front was just smashed into a wall.
They hit so hard that block, that concrete wall, the bottom of it broke.
Like smashed it so hard that parts of it went to the other side of the wall and into the bedroom window of the townhouse across from it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and not just that, but then they had to have a crane to get in there to lift the wall to get the car out. And then, so they're still...
And then take the bottom layer out of the wall so that it could just sit flush on the ground again. Yeah, so now if you drive by that wall, like, you got a bunch of 20-foot tall sections and a 10-foot tall section. It's like a section of Mario. You're like, doot, 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 doot. And you gotta jump over. Jump up. That was beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, so that is one bit of what has happened. Summer 2022. Summer 2022. When the living's easy. Is it? I mean... I feel like summers are just getting more complicated. They're definitely hot. So hot. Because we've been doing so much work around the house since being here, and most of the work Joe does is outside, and it is balls hot. Well, it is definitely drippy, sweaty, gross. And speaking of Can't be
gross.
sweaty, gross.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh.
We're gonna go into our Papa-ism.
No.
So, believe it or not, for Digna, this is actually a smooth transition. It's not a saying; it's an ism. That's kind of what I was saying with this. It's just things that are about Papa or remind you of Papa.
But not sweaty.
So yeah. So this Papa-ism is icky and gross, but not sweaty, and it is his infatuation with Duke's mayonnaise.
Duke's mayonnaise.
Duke's mayonnaise.
Duke's mother mayonnaise.
He did not say that.
It would have been so great.
That was. I think that's Samuel L. Jackson's take on Duke's mayonnaise. So my grandfather, ever since he was a wee lad, apparently that was the mayonnaise he ate growing up. So Duke's mayonnaise, I think it's based out of North Carolina, but my family, they
can only be based out of the South.
Yeah, it's definitely a Southern mayonnaise, but they grew up in Georgia, and apparently, like, mayonnaise is a thing that people have very
Big
strong
feelings about.
They have strong opinions about this,
Yes.
and I don't mean like, ew, it's gross, or I love mayonnaise.
Brand wise.
Like my grandma Nancy, she's from West Virginia, and she grew up. I don't know if she grew up eating, but she
Did she grow
now
up?
eats Miracle Whip, and she is a full-on Miracle Whip person, which I don't know. It doesn't matter to me that much because I guess I don't have that strong of a whatever. But my grandfather loves Duke's mayonnaise. One of the things I remember him talking about the types of sandwiches,
Ugh.
and it started off pretty inert. He said something about, oh man, just go to your garden and get a fresh tomato and you slice it up, like just pretend like it's
tomato sandwich.
like it's the lunch meat in your sandwich. Like you don't have to have your
It's the T in a BLT.
yeah. So
it goes. It's still a fruit.
it's
but
good.
It goes.
So it's a pretty good one, and I
Not
actually
that I'm gonna eat that shit because
Yeah.
I'm not gonna eat
and
mayonnaise in my sandwich.
before my grandfather passed, we planted some tomatoes out front, and they have come through this summer, and we've had a lot of delicious, fresh vine ripened tomatoes.
I wouldn't say like a labor of love, but like it was definitely like a fruit born of love.
It was
literally.
It was definitely very fruitful. Yes, I had kind of
A lot of tomato sandwiches.
a lot of tomato
You
sandwiches.
still have like 3 tomatoes worth of
Good,
sandwiches to eat.
and they're nice tomatoes. I mean, they are nice tomatoes. So, the tomato sandwich I like, but Digna is not a huge
Listen,
mayonnaise on a
I've-
sandwich
I've
person.
grown up. I'm almost 40. And
Damn, she old as hell.
if there's mayonnaise on my sandwich, I'm not going to throw it away. I'm not going to make a sandwich with mayonnaise on it. And I am going to throw away a sandwich that's goopy, though. Get that shot in my face. Like, if I bite into the sandwich and mayonnaise comes out,
But that's the problem.
Please,
That's the problem
just-
with the way they put.
no.
Like if you go to Burger King, get a Whopper.
Yes.
If it has, when they just like scoop it on there, so it'll be like a blob
Yes.
in those places.
Yes, I got a chicken sandwich. My mom and I, we went to Jensen Beach and we stopped, I think, at Burger King. And we got chicken sandwiches at Burger King. And I'm driving, I'm on the highway, I take my first bite, and mayonnaise like went on the paper. And I was like, oh my God. And I didn't like.
And that's how she got in her wreck.
Full circle. No, I didn't say anything. I ate the damn sandwich, and mayonnaise kept plopping onto the wax paper that they gave me, and it was taking everything within my adult willpower to not just throw it out the window.
It was inciting her fight or flight.
It was. It was. I was a deer in the headlights. Mom said something, and Mom loves mayonnaise, and she said something about it having too much mayonnaise, and I was like, okay, if I didn't say
I
it.
thought it was just me.
No, I knew it wasn't just me, but like if you're saying there's too much mayonnaise, there's too much mayonnaise. But anyway, I digress. Your tomato sandwich story.
So yes, tomato sandwiches. Can we agree that a tomato sandwich is not the worst idea out there?
It's fine.
It's fine. So, and I say it's good, So the other one, there's 2 other ones.
Because it was tomato sandwich. It's all yummy.
And that was like, have you ever had
what
was it?
pineapple sandwich?
Pineapple was one of them. Yeah, that's what it was. So
And here I'm thinking
pineapple and
we're
mayonnaise.
about to discuss a dessert.
So pineapple and mayonnaise
Like just
between 2 pieces of
like
bread.
crushed pineapple, blobs with blobs of mayonnaise.
Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, blah, and spread
Not
on
just
bread.
mayonnaise. Duke's mayonnaise.
And smeared on bread like a ham salad or something. Like, why would you defile a pineapple like that? I feel like mayonnaise was invented to cover stuff.
I mean, some weird people put pineapple on pizza, so I mean,
whatever.
you know.
He's one of those people.
I eat it. I don't order it.
What?
When I order the pizza, I do not order pineapple.
Hold on. So you wouldn't like purposely order pineapple on your pizza?
No, why would I do that?
What? I thought you liked it.
That is something I tolerate because I know you like it.
Oh my god. You guys, this is one of those moments in a marriage where you're like, I just learned something about you that I didn't know before, but is also slightly offensive to my sensibilities. So, yeah, we'll talk about that offline. Anyway, pineapple and mayonnaise sandwiches.
And then the other one,
which is even more horrendous somehow. I don't know if it's more horrendous. It's equally as horrendous. Bananas and mayonnaise. Bananas. And
apples and bananas.
and mayonnaise. Yeah, so, but that's not like a, oh, have you ever heard of a pineapple and mayonnaise sandwich? Gosh, that's silly. Golly gee, I would never try that. This was like, I crave pineapple and mayonnaise smeared on my thick white bread.
Look, Digna, Papa drew some. You know, we're gonna post this online. Papa drew a picture with Sharpie on this thing he used to cover his monitor. So he had a desktop, and we still have the desktop, so we still have the picture. And he drew a picture that's kind of
it was of himself.
Yeah. And but he put it over. It was like an Amazon.
Sleeve.
It was like an Amazon bag.
Yeah, and he used it as a sleeve to keep the dust off the screen.
Yeah, to cover his monitor. And he always, like, dutifully, he put it on there. And Digna put one of the word bubbles, like a comic strip, and said something about...
It just said, Duke's mayonnaise. You can see it right there.
Yeah. Dukes and banana makes a fine sandwich. And that's what he said.
He always talked about it being a fine sandwich.
He said that was a fine sandwich. And it was just like... Yeah, but so...
It's so curly cute. When did he ever have curly hair?
I don't know. So the thing about this, just to go one step further with the Papa-isms. So that's why now you know why it was gooey and squishy or whatever we said.
So squishy.
So one year for Christmas, my grandparents would buy presents, and I'd get a little present or two, and Digna get a present or two, but mostly Desmond, it's for the kids, and we'd give them a present or two as well, and so everyone had gotten their presents, and everyone had opened everything, and then mysteriously one more present
Digna's
appears.
Got one more present.
Digna had an extra present.
I'm like, ooh.
Like, whoa, I got two. This one got two. Digna got a third present. Dun, dun, dun. And what was this third present you got?
This third present I got was possibly a triple X. Ironically,
she means, by the way, a triple extra large. Like, not triple X. Like, double XL, triple XL.
It was not porny.
It's a giant...
It's a huge t-shirt that is ironically more of a mustard yellow than anything else. And it was the logo for Duke's mayonnaise. And it's just this giant ass t-shirt that says Duke's mayonnaise and has the jar of mayonnaise on it. And it wasn't just that they got me a shirt. It was that when I opened it, of course, here's my surprise face, because why? And it was their faces that were freaking priceless. Like, as soon as I opened it and unfurled this flag of a t-shirt, I realized what I was looking at. They both,
oh my gosh,
laughed so hard.
Papa's face was as red as the tomato he would have put on a tomato and mayonnaise.
And it was like
sandwich.
the high pitched, like laughing that you
cannot breathe,
can't catch a single breath. It was hilarious. I mean, obviously I laughed because they were laughing so hard. I didn't laugh so much because I had to wear this abomination of a shirt. But they got me good. And then I think the next year, because Joe's cousin also does not like mayonnaise.
By the way, really quick, if you want to know what the shirt looks like, There is a video on YouTube on my channel of me trying there was this like nitrogen infused Budweiser beer, and it was last year during my birthday. I was wearing that shirt. It was like big. It was a big shirt even for me.
It was huge.
You
like
know?
I wore it as a pajama shirt, but it would like strangle me because it was so big it would wrap around me.
But yeah, so if you want to know what that shirt, watch that video. You saw how I did a little plug for myself.
For what podcast, Joseph?
That one wasn't for a podcast per se.
Okay, never mind. Ignore that.
I think it was just like me trying a beer.
Oh yeah, he'd had a few YouTube videos of fun little new ideas. But anyway, the next year they decided to play a similar prank on me and Joe's cousin Becky. Hi, Becky, who also is an avid no thank you mayonnaise on anything person.
That's her.
Exactly. But they gave us, so we're, again, opening our Christmas presents, and it's like, ooh, here's one for Becky, here's one for Digna. We open up at the same time, and this is how much mayonnaise they eat during a year. I would never make it through a jar of mayonnaise in probably 2 years. Like, I would have to maybe make something that required many blobs of mayonnaise in order to get through a jar in a year.
Like macaroni salad or something, like a salad.
Like maybe at Christmas I made macaroni salad and coleslaw and potato salad or something. Like, so they eat enough mayonnaise that they had at least 2 Duke's mayonnaise jars available to clean out and then fill with Christmas foil, color wrapped candies. So like I think Rolos and maybe Hershey's Kisses that were, Christmas time colors. And they had, well washed these abominations of jars.
I mean, you hope they washed them well.
I hope. And or maybe they were mayonnaise infused
Dukes and chocolate makes a fine sandwich.
That's like a terrible take on like chocolate and whipped cream. But so they had filled these jars with candy, and both of us opened our jars at the same time, and it was like a riot ensued, laughing, and they just I would have loved to see what their idea was, because that was, I think, this past Christmas. I would have loved to see what shenanigans they came up with for Duke's mayonnaise related Christmas presents this year, because that was apparently going to be the new thing. But yeah, so Duke's mayonnaise and anything, apparently, for people who like mayonnaise, makes a fine sandwich.
And that, just the thought of Papa's face turning red and just his like pure
like
joy, like, oh my gosh, that's
throwing himself back in the chair.
That face, that's one of those memories that like sticks with me. And just when you think of like how the memories you have of somebody after they pass, like that is a definite Papa-ism.
That's a solid one.
Like just this past week, I thought about that situation, and I was talking to Grandma about it. Like, you remember? And just the way he was red in the face, and he just laughed, and it was. So yes, that was definitely a great Papa-ism.
For sure. I feel like he bought that shirt in like June and was just like giggling to himself for 6 months.
He probably took it out of a drawer and giggled every couple of days.
He probably did.
Oh my gosh. It's like, this is going to be great. Yeah, I bet. I mean, you know what? The way he buys stuff, always has plenty in stock, buys it long before he needs more. I would not have been surprised if he got it 6 months before Christmas.
I'm surprised he even like not had the wherewithal, but like was aware that Duke's had apparel. Like, not that you would just go to the grocery store and buy mayonnaise. No. You can go online and buy stuff with their logo on it. Merch. That Duke's merch. Duke's merch. I don't know why that sounds ridiculous.
It sounds like a little... Oh, you got a little Duke's merch on your pants.
Why on your pants?
What's Duke? You got Duke in your pants.
Are we talking about poop?
Yeah, I said Duke's merch.
Oh
Sounds
my
like
God.
poop. Good. And now Duke's mayonnaise has now given Digna red face, just like my grandfather had. So you know what? Duke's mayonnaise may be some sort of magical elixir.
It might be able to bring peace to Earth.
You know what? Peace in the Middle East. Eat some Duke's.
Gross.
All right, guys. Well, make sure you eat plenty of Duke's mayonnaise.
Wash your mouth.
Out after you eat all of that mayonnaise.
I meant like wipe your face.
Wipe your face.
Oh, I got a stomachache.
And Wash your hands.
Yeah, don't be gross.
This has been a Getting to Know Brews presentation. Music provided by purpleplanet.com. That's purple-planet.com.